Welcome back to Let Sal Explain. I'm Sal, and today we are going to dive into a mystery that frustrates almost every homeowner on the planet. We have all been there. You load up your washing machine, add your detergent, press start, and walk away. But instead of a gentle, comforting hum coming from your laundry room, it sounds like a commercial jet engine is taking off inside your house. The machine violently shakes, it rattles, it walks across the floor, and a few days later, absolute silence. It is completely dead. You call up the repair technician, and after a 5-minute inspection, they give you the bad news. The bearings are shot, the motor is burnt out, or the tub is cracked. The quote to fix it is almost exactly the same price as buying a brand new machine. So, you find yourself asking the ultimate question: why does this keep happening? Why do modern appliances feel like they have a self-destruct timer set for exactly 3 days after the manufacturer's warranty expires? Well, the truth is, not all of them do. Today, I am going to explain exactly why that happens to most machines, and more importantly, why 3 specific brands, Miele, LG, and Bosch, have built a worldwide reputation for surviving the test of time. We are going to look under the hood, with no jargon, just pure mechanical truth, to understand what makes these machines last longer, what makes their engineering so special, and why people across the globe refuse to buy anything else. To understand why a good machine lasts, you first have to understand why a cheap machine dies. A washing machine is, by its very nature, a hostile environment for mechanics. You are combining electricity, digital circuit boards, hot water, harsh chemical detergents, and extreme kinetic force. When a machine spins your clothes dry at 1200 or 1400 revolutions per minute, the G-force generated inside that metal box is absolutely staggering. In a standard, budget-friendly washing machine, manufacturers cut costs by using cheaper materials to handle these extreme forces. For example, to keep the machine from bouncing around during a high-speed spin cycle, manufacturers have to weigh the drum down. The cheap way to do this is by bolting heavy blocks of concrete to the top and bottom of the plastic tub. Concrete is cheap, it is heavy, and it gets the job done for a few years. But washing machines get hot, and they vibrate constantly. Over a span of 3 to 5 years, the thermal expansion and the violent shaking cause those concrete blocks to develop microscopic hairline fractures. Eventually, the concrete cracks, crumbles, and shifts. Suddenly, the drum is off balance. That off-balance spinning destroys the internal bearings, snaps the drive belt, and kills your machine. This brings us to our first titan of the industry, Miele. If there is a holy grail of appliance longevity, it is Miele. This is a German brand that operates on a completely different philosophy than almost any other manufacturer on Earth. While most appliance companies design their machines to last about 7 to 10 years, Miele engineers and test their front-load washing machines to last for 10,000 operating hours. If you run your washing machine for 5 hours every single week, that equates to 20 years of reliable use. How do they achieve this? By refusing to use cheap shortcuts. Remember those crumbling concrete blocks I just mentioned? Miele does not use concrete. They are the only major brand that uses solid cast iron counterweights to stabilize their machines. Cast iron does not crack under vibration, it does not crumble, it does not degrade. 20 years from now, that cast iron will be doing the exact same job it is doing today. But Miele's over-engineering does not stop there. In a standard washing machine, the outer tub, the part that holds the water while the inner drum spins, is usually made of 2 pieces of molded plastic, glued or screwed together. Over time, the heat from your hot water cycles causes that plastic to expand and contract, which eventually leads to warping and catastrophic leaks. Miele, on the other hand, uses a single-piece, commercial-grade stainless steel suds container. It is 100% leak-proof. It never expands under high heat, and it will never corrode from harsh detergents. Furthermore, Miele machines are built with a 4-point suspension system. Most budget machines are supported by just 2 suspension springs, meaning all the weight and kinetic energy of your wet laundry is concentrated on 2 weak points. Miele places a heavy-duty suspension spring in all 4 corners of the machine's chassis. This distributes the kinetic load evenly, absorbing the shock like the suspension system of a luxury car. This is why a Miele machine can spin at a blistering 1600 revolutions per minute while remaining so perfectly still that you could balance a coin on top of it. It is pure, uncompromised mechanical integrity. Now, let us shift gears and look at a completely different approach to reliability. If Miele achieves longevity through heavy-duty, tank-like construction, our next brand achieves it through brilliant simplification. I am talking about LG, the South Korean powerhouse that completely revolutionized the washing machine market. To understand why LG machines are so incredibly reliable, we have to look at the motor. For decades, almost every washing machine in the world was built using a traditional belt and pulley system. You had an electric motor bolted to the bottom of the machine, a rubber belt wrapped around the motor's drive shaft, and that belt connected to a large wheel on the back of the washtub. When the motor turned, the belt turned the wheel, which spun your clothes. This design has three massive flaws. First, rubber belts stretch and wear out over time. Second, the constant tension of the belt pulling the tub downwards puts immense, uneven pressure on the rear bearings, eventually grinding them to dust. And third, the system is incredibly inefficient and loud because there is so much mechanical friction. LG looked at this design and realized that the best way to prevent parts from breaking was to simply remove the parts entirely. They pioneered and perfected the inverter direct drive motor. Instead of putting the motor at the bottom of the machine and connecting it with a belt, LG engineered a pancake-shaped magnetic motor and attached it directly to the exact center of the washing machine drum. There is no belt. There is no pulley. There is no uneven tension pulling the drum down. The motor and the drum are essentially one moving part. By eliminating the drive belt, LG eliminated the #1 cause of washing machine breakdowns. Because the motor is directly attached to the drum shaft, it uses electromagnets to spin the tub with absolute precision. This direct connection allows the machine to perform intricate, highly controlled washing motions, tumbling, rolling, stepping, and swinging, that a traditional belt-driven machine simply cannot do. The result is a machine that washes clothes better, operates with a whisper-quiet hum, and drastically extends its own lifespan because there is virtually no mechanical friction wearing the internal components down. When you remove friction from the equation, you add years to the life of the appliance. That is why Consumer Reports and independent repair technicians consistently rank LG at the very top of mass market reliability. Finally, let us talk about the masters of stability, Bosch. Bosch is another German engineering giant, and their approach to making washing machines last longer is focused heavily on acoustic dampening, structural rigidity, and motor efficiency. If you ask people worldwide why they love their Bosch washing machines, the first thing they will tell you is that they often forget the machine is even running. That is not by accident, it is the result of obsessive engineering. Bosch's claim to fame in the laundry world is their EcoSilence Drive. Similar to LG's innovations, Bosch realized that standard electric motors, which use carbon brushes to conduct electricity to the spinning rotor, were a major failure point. Those carbon brushes physically rub against the moving parts of the motor to create an electrical current. Friction generates heat. Heat degrades components, and eventually, the carbon brushes wear down to nothing, causing the motor to fail entirely. Bosch replaced this outdated technology with a highly advanced, brushless direct current motor. By utilizing powerful permanent magnets instead of physical carbon brushes, the EcoSilence Drive operates without any physical contact inside the motor housing. No friction means no heat, no wear and tear, and zero energy loss. The motor is practically immortal under normal household conditions. But Bosch did not stop at the motor. They understood that the greatest enemy of a washing machine's internal frame is high-frequency vibration. When a machine spins, the resonance waves travel through the metal cabinet. If the cabinet flexes, the internal components get thrown out of alignment. To solve this, Bosch engineers designed what they call anti-vibration sidewalls. If you look at the side of a modern Bosch washing machine, you will notice it is not flat. It has a very distinct, spiral, almost teardrop-shaped pattern stamped directly into the sheet metal. This is not for aesthetics. It is a highly calculated structural engineering choice. By stamping these specific geometric patterns into the steel, Bosch exponentially increases the rigidity of the cabinet without adding extra weight. Furthermore, these spiral patterns act as acoustic wave breakers. They disrupt the harmonic resonance generated by the spinning drum, absorbing the vibrations before they can shake the machine apart. Because the frame remains incredibly stiff and stable, the delicate internal dampeners and bearings are never subjected to undue stress. The machine stays locked in place, washing cycle after washing cycle, year after year. So, when we look at the global market, why do people prefer these three brands? Why do consumers from North America to Europe to Asia constantly seek out Miele, LG, and Bosch? It comes down to the simple economics of total ownership cost and the psychological peace of mind. Yes, you can go to a big box store and buy a heavy-duty looking, budget brand washing machine for a few $100s. But when that machine destroys its own bearings in 4 years, ruins your clothes by tearing them on cheap plastic paddles, and forces you to pay for service calls, the true cost of that machine skyrockets. Consumers have realized that appliances are an investment in their daily quality of life. Miele commands a premium price, but buyers know they are purchasing a commercial-grade, cast-iron and stainless steel fortress that they will likely never have to replace while living in their current home. It is an investment in absolute perfection. LG dominates the mass premium market because they offer cutting-edge, belt-free direct drive technology at an accessible price point. They give everyday families access to commercial-level reliability, whisper-quiet operation, and incredible washing performance without breaking the bank. Bosch captures the hearts of homeowners who value precision, structural stability, and silence. They provide a beautifully balanced machine that operates with friction-free efficiency, saving money on water and electricity while protecting the peace and quiet of the home. In a world where so many things are built to be thrown away, Miele, LG, and Bosch stand out because they are built to be kept. They approach the violence of a spin cycle not as an inevitable cause of death for the machine, but as an engineering puzzle to be solved through better materials, smarter motors, and structural genius. That is the secret. No magic, just brilliant engineering. Thank you for tuning in. If you want me to break down more everyday engineering marvels, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Sal, and I'll see you in the next explanation.